Good morning. Good morning. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Redemption Series. This podcast is a battleground for anyone trying to rebuild their life from the ground up. No fake perfection here, just raw, honest conversations about faith, recovery, and becoming exactly who God created you to be. A place where we talk about faith, healing, redemption, purpose, and the real life struggles we all face while following God. Pain may be a part of your story, but redemption can be too. Today's message is about what prison taught me about life. And before we get started, I want to say something. This episode is not about glorifying prison. I do not wish prison on anyone. It was painful, it was humbling, it was filled with consequences that I brought upon myself. But here's something I've learned about God. He never wastes a season, even in the darkest places, even behind prison walls. Even in the middle of consequences, God can teach us lessons that change our lives forever. Some of the greatest lessons I've learned didn't come during my best days, they came during my hardest ones. So today I want to share some of the things prison taught me. Not because prison changed me, but because God met me there and changed my heart. Now, before we dive in, I want to ask you, what's one difficult season in your life that ended up teaching you one of your greatest lessons? Share your story with us. Someone may need your testimony today. Now, understand this, freedom is more than just walking outside. One of the first things prison taught me is that freedom isn't just physical. You can walk outside of prison walls and still be trapped by bitterness, addiction, guilt, trapped by anger, fear, and shame. Real freedom starts in the heart. Jesus said in John 8 and 36, so if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed. Notice Jesus wasn't talking only about physical freedom. He was talking about spiritual freedom, the kind of freedom no prison, addiction, or circumstances can take away. What does true freedom mean to you today? Share with us. Understand this, every choice has consequences. One lesson prison made impossible to ignore is this: your choices matter. Every decision we make has consequences. Some consequences may be immediate, others don't show up until years later. Galatians 6 and 7 says, do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man will reap what he sows. That's not meant to scare us. It's meant to remind us that our choices matter. But here's the beautiful part of the gospel. Even when we suffer consequences, God's grace is still available. He forgives, He restores, He gives us new beginnings. Your past may have consequences, but it doesn't cancel God's purpose. What's one decision that completely changed the direction of your life, for better or for worse? Share your story with us. When life is stripped down to the basics, gratitude changes everything. You begin appreciating things you once took for granted: a phone call, a meal with a family, watching a sunrise or a sunset, or sleeping in your own bed, a hug from someone you love. Prison taught me gratitude, not because prison was good, but because it reminded me how many blessings I had overlooked. The Bible tells us in 1 Thessalonians 5 and 18, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Jesus Christ. Notice it doesn't say for all circumstances, it says in all circumstances. Even in difficult seasons, there is always something to thank God for. What's one blessing you never want to take for granted again? Fill the comments with your gratitude. God can and will meet you anywhere. One of the greatest lessons I learned is that there is no place too dark for God's presence. He met Joseph in prison. He met Paul and Silas in prison. He met countless broken people throughout Scripture. And he met me. Psalm 139, 7 through 10 says, where can I go from your spirit? Even there, your hand will guide me. No matter where you've been, no matter what you've done, no matter how broken you feel, God knows exactly where to find you. He isn't waiting for you to clean yourself up. He's waiting for you to call on him. Can you remember a moment when you knew God was with you, even during one of your hardest seasons in life? Tell us about it. My story didn't end there. When I was in prison, it would have been too easy to believe my story was over, that my mistakes would define the rest of my life, that I'd never recover, that I couldn't make a difference. But God had a different plan. Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to give you hope and a future." Now, notice something. God spoke those words to people living in exile, people who probably felt forgotten, yet God still had a future for them. And He still has a future for you. Your worst chapter doesn't have to be your final chapter. Your testimony may still be unfolding. Looking back now, I don't thank God for the mistakes I made. I don't celebrate the consequences, but I do thank Him for His mercy. I thank Him for His patience, for His grace. I thank Him that He never gave up on me. Y'all know we going back to Romans 8:28. And we know that in all things God works for those who love Him. Not because all things are good, but because God is. He can redeem broken stories and He can restore broken lives. He can bring purpose out of pain. And I know if He did it for me, He can do it for you. No matter where you've been, no matter what's behind you, God ain't finished with your story. Keep the faith. And remember, the hardest season in your life may become the greatest classroom God ever uses. Not because the pain was good, but because God always is. Before we go, I want to leave you with one final question. What's the greatest life lesson you've learned through one of the most difficult seasons? Flood in the comments. Your wisdom could encourage someone who's struggling today. So keep growing, keep trusting, keep fighting. This is the Redemption Series, where pain meets purpose. Until next time, I love y'all.